ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Fight Night. And as you can see, we have a first-timer on the stream today, the one and only Velivel.
Yes, you people at home, you're probably saying to yourself, Benson looks different. He's got a tan. Is it a haircut?
Yo, this is how Benson really looks on the inside, just so you guys know if you guys never knew.
Yes.
But, you know, Vel, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome to have you on Fight Night.
Oh, I'm excited.
So far, you're joining an exclusive club. But that club also includes Rich Campbell as well, so you know, hey, it's not that exclusive. But going forward tonight, guys, hey, we got an awesome show ahead. Let's take a look at the schedule. We're gonna be having first our European 2K final, Fable versus Team Supremecy. Right after that, we got our show match, Rise Nation versus FYC. And at the end of the night, our North American 2K final, once again for back-to-back weekends, back-to-back Wednesdays, Optic Gaming versus Echo Fox.
I am definitely excited to see Fable play again. Fable had a hot run in Mexico. They're one of my favorite teams now.
Now, yeah.
I love them.
No, you know what? And let's dive into our first matchup a little bit deeper, because in Dallas,
yes,
Supremecy was the best European team out there. And that came straight out of my mouth. You can go find the VODs if you want to, but Supremecy was the best team in Europe. Then Fable, they was like, what's going on? We were disappointed. Then they, after the event, they made the roster changes. They added Marsh, they added Crimsons, and then, oh my God,
Jesus,
they look like a different team in Mexico City, Val.
Oh yeah, no, a completely different team. They took a map off of Optic. They almost beat Optic.
Yeah.
They knocked out Echo Fox. To me, they had the most impressive run in Mexico, and I hope they keep it up.
You know what? That was just the Cinderella story.
Yes.
That was the Cinderella story in which we all love so much. And let's take a look at the bans and picks, you guys. And this is going to be an online best of 3. We got a Fable taking out Forge, Blitz, Supremecy taking out Harbor. Dam is going to be Fable's pick, Foundation, Supremacies, and if we go the distance, Reclaimed will be map number 3. Pretty standardized map set that we've seen before and plenty of time again.
Dam is going to be an extremely exciting map. I know Fable, we saw them on that map going against E United, and they were phenomenal. Do not let them put down the boom shot, because once they do, Hydrone, he wins his 1v1s, they pick up the boom shot, and they just dominate.
And speaking of Hydrone and that whole situation, Hydrone went off in Mexico City. Now, I don't care what Fable says, and I tell them every single time, they should have brought motivated drink. They should have brought and I told them, I said, yo, y'all need to buy Motivate drinks, because it was Motivate in which one forced that tie, and forced the tie in which Fable won to get against to go against Optic in that match, because if they would have lost, then it was going to be Gosu Crew, I believe it was.
It would have been.
Yeah, it would have been Gosu Crew in the winners, but Fable versus Optic and them taking that first map just brought so much out of that team.
No, you know what else was a big factor to that team? I would like to give some credit to Blaze and Benson, okay? You guys said for the longest that they needed a coach. So who did they pick up as a coach?
They picked up their former teammate.
Yes.
And Ash, right?
Yes. And by picking up Ash, Fable took it to the next level. Now, I've seen some talk in the EU.
Now, I got something I want to say on that, too, once you finish your point.
No, I've seen some talk in the EU, and they talk about Fable as if they're Optic. They're saying no one's going to beat them. Why try? And that's scary. Now, if Fable continues to play against these top American teams, I could see them placing top 2, top 3.
Hey, you know what? I agree. And to even go back to your coach standpoint, because that was something I criticized them for a long time. But if you go back and watch those VODs, when Fable played Optic, their coach was nowhere in sight. He was not even in the venue. So they actually went the distance with Optic without a coach. Yeah, they went the distance, because I remember looking at Ash, and I was like, hey, fam, really? They just went game 3. Where were you throughout this entire time? But you know, as Phelps, you know, said before, they said, hey, you know, we just do our thing. Sometimes they don't want to coach, cluttering up the mic, so to speak. And you know, I can understand that, and I can respect that as well. But it's something about, I consider Fable a top 5 team in Gears Esports as a whole.
But enough about Fable. Can we give some credit to Supremecy?
Yeah, 100%.
I really like Baghdad. Zorkos, he's a beast. Because in Dallas, Supremecy was my favorite European team, and I feel like they didn't lose it yet. If anybody in the EU would give this Fable team a challenge, it would 100% be this team.
It has to be this team, or it has to be DZ. I think it's definitely one of the two. But folks, without further ado, we got Team Supremecy versus Fable, our first match of the night here on Fight Night, and I'm ready. I'm excited for this one.
Yes, it's all team setup right now. We're going to see pretty much a basic setup. Home hills are being capped on both ends. But Blaze, who are you looking forward to most in this matchup?
Ah, man, when it comes down to players, I think it's Praise father. That's Marsh.
Marsh?
You know, yeah, I think, yeah, Praise dad. It's going to be Marsh. And you know what? This man, the plays that he makes for this Fable squad, his consistency. Look at him. He's going to be making some plays out wide. And I think he can win his 1v2. He's going to back out. He's going to say, hey, you know what? Let me get in position. I got some help. No point of forcing it. Woo! And those are the type of plays that you need your veterans to make.
Strick ran up on Marsh, tried to do it to him, and already domination, as you say, coming through. Marsh handled his 1v1 with swiftness and Supremacy. They're fine to stay alive.
Yeah, they are fighting. They are going to keep taking some guys away from their home hill. Big fight, but Fable looking like they want to back up a tad bit. Supremacy staying alive. Physics got some action here towards mid-map, and the pressure's going to be coming through one more time for Fable. Cleaning up these kills. Can Physics stay alive? But going to have him and Zorkos trying to make a stand. Can they win this 2v2 fight? You got Fable rushing the home hill, and you know what? Supremacy just seems to not be able to catch a breath.
No, not at all. But you know what? Supremacy was holding off, and I was worried for a second. Fable, all you saw was shotguns. Crazed, the veteran, he backed up with a pistol, offered support fire, and he helped the team take over this hill, essentially, right here. This should be domination.
This should be, after what it seems like a never-ending battle. Fable finally able to close this round number 1 out, which is good, because, hey, as I always say, some pluses and minuses, but this map in particular, because now you have the option. Now, when we saw the last European final, we saw DZ chose to block the pit early on.
Really?
They chose to block the pit because they knew how good Fable was at fighting for this boom on pit. So they said, hey, you know what? We don't want to play them at their best game. And my argument was that, hey, if you guys want to get better, force Fable to play their best game and then go get your asses kicked. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way you're going to get better in these type of situations. If I'm in a 2K final, because, you know, don't get me wrong, you guys are playing for a lot of pro points, but at this point in the season, you're also playing to get better. So if putting that boom down there is going to get you your best competition, by all means, put it down and start thinking about how can you get better as a team.
You know what, a lot of people say, okay, this is an online tournament, it's just a 2K. No, you play this to make a statement, okay? If I'm going against the best team right now in Europe, I'm going to do whatever they want, and I'm going to beat them at their own game. You have to make a statement. And in the case of Fable, you have to go off. Right now, we're starting off on Zorkos right now, 2 kills. And he gets down. I thought he was going to do something special.
Nah, he's going to get dropped very, very quickly there, but the revive coming through from Baghdad, and now you're going to be having Supremacy holding down platform, still fight for control over the B hill. They're going to be coming through with the pinch, and Fable doesn't look like they can get a good setup. You're going to see a few stragglers come through, but they're going to choose to back out as well. Don't want to get wiped right away, just want to get set up and wait for their 2 remaining members to come off respawn.
Yeah, Supremacy, they did drop the hammer burst when they lost that round. So what we should see in this scenario, we should see a lot of team fight. This is a nice, big, and open map. And a team that sets up a la Echo Fox, you know, they have map control, and that would help them win rounds over and over again. I would like to see that from this team.
Yeah, I would love to see that as well. But I'm liking when I see out of Supremacy. Good job by Chris, making sure he can, you know, getting that damage out with the hammer burst as well. You see a few kills coming through. Zorko's going to be cleaning up a few, and now Supremacy looking like they want to give Fable a taste of their own medicine with the domination coming through. Phelpsy looking to keep his team alive, but he's not going to be able to do it. And folks, we got a little sneak cap across the map.
Wow. On
top of that C hill, so somebody did get that overextension, so that was actually beautiful. And then it was able to wrap back around and decap B, so it was a breakdown somewhere in Supremacy setup.
I think it's pretty much a given that when you're going for the domination, you should expect the other team to send that one player around the map to capture the middle hill or the extra home hill. So when you're up in numbers, keep the pressure up, but also keep someone out there aware that someone's wrapping around the map.
Exactly. That pit location of the map is so key, even if there's no power weapons, because if you get caught in a space where you die fighting for this neutral hill at B, and your team starts to set up with at least 3 or 4 people there, then you send that guy around the other half of the map to put pressure on the home hill and force your opponents to break their own setup.
Yes, but also what I want to see from Supremacy, I mean, be a man up. When you're up in numbers like that, you're that close to domination, don't let them breathe.
I agree with that. You really got to take the air away from your opponent. And so now you see Fable looking like how can we get in here and break this B setup? You got Phelpsy looking for the right angle, looking to be annoying, getting the call outs, getting the marks. He's going to get one down, picks up the meat. and this B hill should be in favor of Fable now, and they're looking to put the pressure forward.
It's the momentum shift, man.
It is.
Supremacy, they should have had the round by now, but you know what? They let off the gas a little bit. They did not set up a perimeter. So Fable, I mean, it's looking pretty good on their end. Actually, Supremacy can win off numbers if they can hold this off.
Yeah, they can. If they can hold it off, but they just lost 2 members. Revive did not come through. We'll see if we can get an overextension. Chris is eyeing that top half of the map, but if he's going to make a play, he needs to go now, knowing that he has to cut back. And just when you thought Supremacy was going to make a statement, they just choked that round out towards the end.
Oh, Chris, he definitely, you know, he stuttered a little bit.
Yeah, he
saw
did.
Me. He looked. He wanted to fight. He wanted to throw hands.
He thought about fighting. He thought about running, but the play.
You can't do that.
He thought about it. Yeah, if he can overextend to his opponent's home hill and really just kind of make that sneak play. But once he figured out that, hey, the first 2 guys that were up had already fallen, you know, he was the next man in line to contest for that home hill at C. But let's see what the placement's going to be. Supremacy with another one on the board. They don't want to go for that pit fight just yet. You need to be thinking in your head that when Fable loses a round, that they're going to immediately put Boomshot down and pit. So you need to be thinking, so as you're placing your weapons elsewhere, think about, okay, what do I need to support me in this battle? Especially if you're scared of the fight. Well, if you're scared of the fight, you can also block it off right off the rip, too.
Right.
But they're choosing not to. They're choosing to just, you know, slowly, you know, escalate this match.
I wouldn't say for Supremacy to go ahead and think too hard about the boom shot going down because, you know, it might be a blessing if it goes down. We don't know how the round is going to go out, but they dropped incense in the middle of the map and it's getting picked up by Krim. If you drop a weapon, you have to pick up the weapon, Blaze.
Yeah, you really do.
He didn't even get shot.
you got at least contend for it, especially as a unit. You know, you put those incense down, whatever it may have been. Krim maybe just had to jump on him. You know, that one extra up A speed boost. To get you into a position, especially with your right hand, your opponents just need to know, like, hey, you know, we got to give this up, back up, fight that we can't win. But Supremacy has control over B, but the real question is how Krim is going to use these incense.
But Supremacy, okay, I see what they did. They dropped incense in the middle of the map, but they went B heavy. Okay, so you give the team that right there, you take B, and then you're trapped off right now. Krim, they have, you know, a perimeter set around them. So now that they took B, okay, you're getting points. That's cute. But you're going to have to break out of that.
Exactly. It's only a temporary solution to but you can't delay the inevitable, which is him picking up those incense and at least breaking your home hill or breaking B. So in this situation, Fable chose to, hey, let's just go for the home hill. And Krim, 2 for 2 with the incense, domination coming through. But I do see Supremacy getting control over their home hill once again.
Yeah, Supremacy, they're struggling with map control at the moment. Fable, they have B hill, C hill. They need one more for the triple cap domination. Krim sees one down the lane. Blaze, what about this Fable team jumped out at you most ever since their team change?
All right, now we're about to see. Gonna be putting some shots in. Now you got Fable locking it down. They got the B set up. They got the 2 hill set up. Their home hill and the neutral hill as well. Now we're gonna start to see Supremacy members. You see how they're all on that back end of the map, trying to hold off, and they're pushing across. They're trying to put the pressure on Fable. So, folks, that's the play in which you want to make, especially when you know your opponent is, you know, just has a strong foundation on top of that. Oh wow! he tried to up-A that. He up-A'd that incense into a wall and killed himself. But when you know your opponents have a strong foundation on top of this B hill, hey, send the whole team up top. Try to break them out, but in this situation, that led to Supremacy getting wiped. And the first member off respawn is going to be Baghdad, and he's not going to be able to make it to this hill in time.
No, Supremacy is definitely being outplayed right now. They had a really good rotation. They just need to get the kills, man. Yeah,
they just need to get the kills, especially there in that round. But you know what? When it comes down to, you know, both teams so far, we can definitely see a clear dominance in Fable, right?
Oh,
especially, it's just such a big improvement from Dallas, the first event, all the way until now.
Oh, yeah. So, about their roster change, okay, Fable, they really weren't the top dogs, even though they had the top dog and Craze on their team. Ever since they made the team change, it's like it clicked. They have power weapon players. They have a huge Slayer in Marsh now. Hydrone picked it up. Hydrone, people told me, okay, hey, you know, Hydrone did well. He's a great support player. Hydrone was a Slayer, man. Hydrone was a Slayer, man.
I see it time and time again. That boy had time. He had all kind of time in Mexico City because he wasn't playing no games with anybody. He was just picking up kills and making plays with boom shots, cool, calm, and collected. He was definitely a superstar of that team. If they was to win an event, he was the MVP off of Fable.
Oh, hands down.
But we will see the drop shot going by the B hill. So Supremacy, they want to stick to this fight up top. They want to stick to the fight on the B hill. But once again, another power weapon placed down in their favor, but another power weapon which they cannot get control of. The crosses do come out. I do like the team fighting, which I saw from Supremacy, and overall, they do win the team fight at B.
But I'm not shocked. Supremacy, they have won the B hill every round thus far. The question is, can they maintain it and also get map control? Because what they need to do, they need to pinch Fable in their home hill area. You win the initial, you just have to be persistent and consistent.
You really do. Because one thing is with Supremacy is, like I said, they understand that they're going to win this fight on top of B. And you know what? They're sticking to their guns. They're sticking to their strengths. So we're going to get a taste on how they play in the second half, because we already know as soon as that neutral hill goes to platform, it's going to be a completely different fight than the first half. So we'll see how they want to play that. And maybe, you know, this could be their weakest side. They're like, hey guys, let's see how many rounds we can win off of this. You know, let's play off this strength for right now until we get to that point of the map.
Yes, Blaze. So here in Fight Night right now, we have 2 European teams facing off. Back then when we played, Europeans, you know, their scene wasn't as big as it is today. What are your thoughts on how much they've come up over the years?
You know, it's pretty crazy to me, because the European scene, especially when they kicked off in Gears World 1, it was like that Toronto event when we first really saw them with Dignitas. You know, Loco was the superstar back then, and they were really turning heads. And you know, us North Americans was like, damn, you know, it's actually some good competition in Europe. We didn't know about them until they actually started showing up at the event. You know, because back then it was just crazy talk to scrim or play anybody on a European server with the connections back in Gears 1, and you know, it wasn't no files back then, so. Pretty much, it was to each their own, and everybody kind of stuck to their own region until they finally came across that pond for the very first time.
And the one thing that I like to see with the European players, you always have that one player that sticks out, and they compare them to our best player. You have Reaction, okay? You have Craze. Marsh is in the conversation now. It gets to the point where it's like, okay, who's next? And this team, they pretty much motivated the rest of the European community to actually stick together and get better so they can come to these events and show out.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? These guys, so far this season, you got to be proud of this region. I think it's definitely going to be better. But also the one thing is that Fable's placing is going to increase the skill of this region as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, like you said before, they're considering them the Optic. Well, they've always been like that Optic gaming of the European region. That's never been in denial based off of how many 2Ks they've won over the last 2 seasons. But now I'm pretty sure scrims are a lot more interesting in the EU region. At least I hope so, because you got these guys who performed so damn well and took Optic to that game 3. You know, you gotta want to always play them at their best.
Blaze, did you look at Twitter after Mexico?
I did not.
I saw so many Europeans said, hey, it's time to play, let's scrim. I saw more scrim messages that week than I've ever had with all the European players. Like, they're motivated. And this team, you got to give it to them. They motivated these guys. They let them know, listen, these Americans, you know, they not as good as you guys think they are. Except Optic.
Yeah. And they should, and that's how they can see it, you know, especially after the way that they beat up on Echo Fox.
Oh, man.
And how they took Optic towards the end. When it comes down to United Ghost, like, I think Fable's going to have a lot of confidence. And those are actually 2 matches in which I want to see again. We saw the United and Fable matchup.
This is nothing better rank. Like, this is like
Ghost,
fucking.
but, you know, those are
This is
also
only
2 other
2K,
games
and
which
it's
I
like
hope to
fucking
see at the
already
next
like
event in
100 times sweaty on the fucking rank. Like.
4-0 right now in favor of Fable. Blaze, does it look like Supremacy has what it takes to make this comeback?
They gotta close out rounds, but now they gotta really spice things up. And I think the block on pit is what's gonna happen. You don't want too many power weapons on this map. Also, you only got 2 rounds left in the first half, and they want to stick to this fight at B.
But the fight at B isn't working for them. So this is my thing. So if you have incense and a drop shot, and you're not winning that, you need to put something to offset it on the other side of the map. You have to try something new.
The only thing in which I would say that I could see really offset, the only thing I can think isn't a good power weapon to put down with that drop shot down is maybe sniping pit.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a sniping pit, because if you lose the fight, you got something to work with to open the doors for you and your squad. And so once again, you're gonna have Felty pick up this drop shot right away. Now Fable just needs to get the kills and equate this into a domination. That's gonna be a wipe that quickly. this fight isn't working out for them anymore, Vale. And, you know, hopefully they have some more success in the second half, but at this point, 4-0, you just got to switch it up, especially with the respawn time is increasing as well.
Okay, so for the people watching at home, Supremecy, they're not a bad team at all.
They're not.
They're not. They're great. They're great. I mean, they'll body me, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing that I see with them is, okay, at the beginning, they were winning the mid-hill. They were winning it. But the more and more they start to lose, you can see the confidence, you know, wither away.
Yeah.
So they just need to pick it up. I hope they don't wait until next map to do that, because momentum is huge in Gears.
Oh, it's very huge.
It's huge. So right now, I mean, they went from winning B Hill every time, and they're losing it now. They're giving up the drop shot. So they need to change things up. You know, put a big weapon down, like I said, or actually go for instance, trap Fable in B Hill like they did to you, and work around that.
That's true. And you know, they had they got to deal with that drop shot as well, and they can't really lose this round.
No,
they can't lose this round whatsoever, because being down 6-0 is a big issue. So whatever they do, they just got to figure out how they can steal this one away from Fable. You know, we've seen them before. They've won an initial. They've won an initial on top of this B Hill, but they've lost those rounds. I think they won it like 2-3 times, as you said before. They was winning this fight. But hopefully with these 20-second respawns, they can get at least a round in their favor before going into the half.
Right now, we're looking at Supremecy, and that one player is in the double digits right now. They need to think things through. Fable picks up the drop shot once again. And does he get a kill? No. It's actually looking pretty good for Supremecy right now.
They got the man advantage.
Whoop! Bring out the Lancer!
I think they should have a little bit of extra help to get this down, but nope, Supremecy lives. They will get 3, so they do walk out so far the victors, unless the last prayer. Nope, I think that's going to be Marsh that just fell. Yes, it is. And now we got a few players off the respawn. Fable going to just try to secure their home hill. And that's actually going to be Supremacy's home hill. Crash is just a little overextended, drawing some fire, so that his teammates can spawn up and not have too many issues.
So this is where heads-up play comes, you know, at play. You get this 5-on-3. Well, it was 5-on-3. You need to acknowledge that. Hold the select button. Take a look at the scoreboard a little bit. Acknowledge that and be aggressive depending on how many players are alive.
Exactly.
Call outs. You have to take advantage of your numbers.
Because those players are going to be spawning up slowly, especially based off on how you kill them. So if you can constantly have a 2v1 on top of that home hill and stagger those players of Fable, then by all means, so be it. Do it. Put that pressure. That was one of my biggest issues with a lot of teams in Season 1 was not taking advantage of their advantages.
No, that's what makes teams such as the Echo Fox and Outfit, you know, just as good, because when they see that advantage, they act on it. And right now, Supremecy, they are pushing. I would like to see them go ahead and trap Fable off in their spawn.
Yes, you know,
feel some confidence, you know?
They are backed up, and Supremecy does have control over this B Hill, and folks, it's not a big lead whatsoever for Fable. I mean, my fault, it's not a Fable, well, Supremecy does not have the biggest lead here so far. And now with this home hill being decapped, you're going to be on board with Chris. He's going to start to back out, taking too much damage, and then he's going to fall. So now, let's see. How does Fable want to react? How do they want to close this one out 6-0? And pretty much be one step away from putting that last nail in this coffin on map number 1.
I mean, this is a round where you're not supposed to win by numbers. You're supposed to win by domination, as you see here. As Fable flipped it on Supremecy right now. But like I said, when you're up, don't have to force fights you don't have to get into, okay? Sit back with a Lancer, it's okay. You don't have to get the cute shotgun fight or the up-close kill.
You got the instance on top of, this is going to be on top of Supremacy's home hill. Drop shots in place as well. Cleaned up a few stragglers that was there. And then, folks, that's going to be Fable up 6-0, one round away from winning map number 1. And, you know, they've just done so well so far. And actually, you know what? I will say that with a boom shot in pit, just that fight alone leads to more domination than the fight at B. I think it's a lot harder, you know, when you're fighting on top of that B hill every single round to get a domination and to get out of that, because I feel like teams are so keen to saying, you know, after we win this fight, you know, we can hold a 2-hill setup.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems more favorable than pushing for that domination when you're on top of that B hill. But when you're fighting on platform, getting to that home hill is a lot easier. It's a lot quicker than backtracking all the way over towards B, you know? Right. So just the platform fight as a whole equates to more dominations on this map.
So as you get later on in the rounds, the spawn times get slower. Things start to turn from escalation into execution. The spawns get way longer. Every life matters, so you have to win your 1v1. So right now it's looking really good on Supremacy's end.
It is looking good on Supremacy's end. Gonna have strikers. He's gonna fall, but Chris, he gets one, and he's looking for a second. Don't turn your back to your opponent that soon. And he's gonna fall, but hey, platform control still not in favor of anybody. Both teams, once again, this is the first round after the half, folks, so we're going to be on those 10-second respawns. So a lot more action, and this platform fight, we just don't know which direction it's going to go because reinforcements have came for both teams, but it's looking like it may fall in favor of Supremacy.
Okay, Supremacy. So this is the point where we see their resilience. We have to see what they're about right now. They're up in numbers. They have map control. The whole thing is they have to stay alive, pick smart fights, not like that, and take advantage of your situation.
Really do. They're trying to clean out a few of these players. They're going to have 2 members down. This is where you want to play for the domination. With those 2 down and also knowing who's coming off the respawn, you should be able to have all these areas cleared and, you know, have tabs on all Fable members. This should be a round 1 by Supremacy. If they die on this hill or somehow lose this round, folks, I don't know what to tell y'all.
So, Fable lost a round. What do you put down if you're Fable at this point?
Fable's going to go boom shot and pit.
So it's going to be that drastic even though you just lost 1 round?
Yeah, it's going to be boom shot and pit because Fable doesn't, they don't want to plan on losing any more rounds. They're not playing their weapon selections as if they're going to be losing 4 rounds in a map, you know. Some teams make those weapon selections like, you know, hey, we're going to be losing a few of these. Let's make sure we take care of this and that. There you go. Come on. You know what you want to do.
Put it out there, big boy.
You know what you want to do. Thank you. Come on, now. You know, this is what I do. This is what I do.
I should have doubted you.
Nah, don't doubt it.
I can't question you no more.
They want to end this. That's the fight that they've been looking for so long. Why? Because when it comes down to the top teams in North America, that's the fight in which they love. So Fable has learned to love it. And all these other European teams need to learn to love that fight as well because you're going to come across it. Unless you want to get on some crazy meta stuff, and you can play the same game in which Supremacy just played.
Oh, yeah.
Block that, throw the boom shot on the top end of the map, and keep fighting that B fight.
Oh.
But if you do that, make sure you got a damn good strategy.
And he gets out clean with the boom shot. Okay, we're used to seeing a high drone go completely off right here. Supremacy.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All
They're
right.
gonna get a wipe.
Right.
That was a good wipe. That was a good wipe. The question is, who is? Yep, that's their opponent's hill. They're going to have one person, whoever just suicided with the boom, that's his job to cap that home hill. All right, don't kill yourself, Baghdad. But this should be a domination for Supremacy. This is a must-win round for them. They got somebody trying to push. You see Hydrone looking like he wants to get towards that platform or get to that flank, but they got tabs on him, but they don't have enough personnel on top of this Fable home hill, and they're going to get slayed out, and Fable has some breathing room.
Fable, you can't let these boys win off your own weapon drop. That's one thing. You gotta, if you put down the weapon, you have to pick it up, like I said before. So let's see how they regain control of this map. Right now, Craze is running around up top near pit with 2 teammates. Let's see if they can take it back.
I want to say boom shots less than 1 minute and 30 away. You got 3 members stacked up. If I see 3 members stacked up, I'm like, hey, get ready for this push. Get ready for this push between the sandbags. Start pre-firing this cover here to the far left. But Fable, they're going in, they're flooding it.
That was such a great setup.
I think it was a beautiful setup by Supremacy, but I think poor execution by Fable.
You don't need to run in there right now.
Yeah, also you don't need to be stacking up on this end of the map. You know, they realized they had too many people on top of this L, so they had to at least spread out a little bit.
You know, that fight was risky at first, but then the numbers came into their advantage. At this point, I mean, you have to go for the domination. This is looking good for Supremacy now. So they're looking like a team that didn't have a weakness earlier on in the game. This might be their half.
Yeah, it definitely could be their half, but the most disappointing, the irony of this whole thing is that they've received more success playing for the boom shot fight in pit. You know,
Which is Fable's thing.
Which is Fable's thing. And this just proves to my point that, hey, you got to force Fable to play their best. You know, force them to play their best game if you're trying to get better.
So we get a Hammerburst drop at the home hills right now.
But this was the fight they were so scared of, the fight in which they were running from. At least that's how I felt in the first half.
I mean, when they put the drop shot down, definitely. There's no question about it.
And now they've gotten their first 2 rounds with this boom shot and pit.
So Blaze, you make all types of crazy, you know, guesses on what's gonna happen.
Nah, chill out, fam.
No, come back.
Nah, I can't. You know what? If I will say this, if Supremacy takes this to a 6-4,
don't do it.
Damn, that's Hydro. That's Hydro for you guys.
Get loose.
That's Hydro. I was gonna say if Supremacy takes it to 6-4, then I will give them a chance to win this match. But I don't see this getting that far, and this is the reason why. Yeah, this should be done. This should be closed out, especially with the boom shots in play. Nobody's gonna be able to get to this hill in time. Can they get a touch? Good boom. Oh, the side roll comes in clutch. That's 3 down. One last hope.
I mean, Zorko, so you really like that, though.
Oh, is he, though?
Nah.
He should have. Nah, not enough time. That was it. He was the last man alive.
If he had some help.
Hey, even if he got 3, I would have been super excited.
First map going to Fable. I mean, a lot of people say it was expected. I expected more on Supremacy's end. I saw great rotations, great map control, but just poor execution. Yeah. And poor slaying in the first half.
A lot of good things we saw.
Yes.
A lot of good things we saw from Supremacy.
But better things we saw from Fable.
Way better things. Fable just knew in which they play with a different confidence now. I personally feel like, and rightfully so, confidence in which was well earned in Mexico City. But you can definitely see it in their play style. And Supremacy, I saw what they were trying to do in the first half of the map. You know, hey, they want to focus more on the B on the B fight, on that neutral hill with the drop shot, hoping to make Fable a little bit uncomfortable. But Fable,
smart.
Yeah, you know, but Fable said, hey, you know, we'll still fight this fight and we'll beat you. You know what I'm saying? We'll beat you. One of the beauties about having a boom shot in the pit is that you can get all those members crowded up together, get those quick kills in succession, and then getting that domination and the route to their home hill is just so much quicker, you know? Yes. But we saw that Fable dominance in map number 1. And for all you guys who've been living on the rock and who don't know too much about Fable, we got a little video that we want you guys to check out.
What I love about the gears is you're rewarded for getting the kill, you know, the chunk and whatever, and just like actually playing the game with the people that you enjoy playing with as well. As a player for Fable, I would say I'm a very aggressive player, good slayer as well. Top American teams, they don't play us just because they don't know our strengths, they don't know our weaknesses. You know, they think as us as a random team, but they don't know what we're capable of. We want to be the best that we can. We want to, you know, be supportive of each other as much as we can. So we need to be playing our best gears.
There's something he said in that video that I really like. What was it? He said the fact that they don't play us a lot, they don't know what we're capable of. So when they came out in Mexico, they were overly aggressive. You know, some top teams were saying, oh, they're playing like idiots. You know, why are they playing like that? Why are they rushing? You know, why all these boom shot pushes? Yeah. But that's good. And they say, you know, if you do things that people aren't prepared for, I mean, that gives you the advantage. Yeah. And I like that. I like Fable, man.
Also, I love the fact also in which set the pace yourself. You know, set your own tone, set your own pace, be the guy who makes the plays rather than being a reactive one. And I can tell you that in my competitive career, I always felt like, even when I got knocked out, I always felt better, at least a little bit better, knowing that I died taking the fight. You know what I'm saying? I died making a push that needs to be made, and I did not get eliminated because I sat back waiting for my opponents just to end my life. You know?
The most important thing, never get stagnant. Yeah. You know, okay, you do well one event, you get 4th place, you know, cool, high five, give me a hug. But after that, you have to keep it up. Come up with new strats, man. Be different.
And also, so when you compare the top international teams, you can compare this 4th place placing of Fable to the 2nd place placing of Ronin last year in Paris, and you gotta ask yourself, which one really means more? You know, which one really means more? Because after that placing that Splice and Ronin got, we haven't really seen much of anything since then.
That team doesn't exist anymore.
You know, it did, and people will say, hey, man, you know, it's because, you know, Idenus is off the squad. You know, he was the heart and soul of the team. But I think they still got a lot of great talent in the Latin American region where even without Idenus, I still feel like that team could be able to have a top placing. Yes. But, you know, hey, could be a big reason, bigger than what I'm giving it for. But I think Fable's 4th placement will do more for this team than that 2nd place did for Ronin.
It's not a fluke. Intervel calling it right now.
It's not a fluke?
Okay, no.
So
because, okay, we saw the 2 new pickups go completely off with Hydrome, but the one person who was consistent but not as good as he usually was, I thought Craze did well. I think Craze is better than what we saw in Mexico. So when you add in that factor, listen, that's a bad man.
That's a good way. That's a good way to put it too, as well. And you know what? I can't even take. You know, I agree with you. You know, he wasn't his greatest. You know, we didn't see him become. We didn't see him as that M-bar all-star that we normally see, because he is a straight savage with the power weapons. You know, even his shot. You know, he is one of the best Gears of War players, not just in Europe, but he's one of the best Gears of War players in the world.
In the world.
In the world, yes. Yeah, in the world.
The world, Craig. So this is one of my favorite maps, Blaze. You know why? At the beginning, they're static on it. They're static in the middle. So right now we're gonna see a 2v2. Well, actually a 3v2 right now as Craze runs down, and immediately you have a huge problem.
I bet you will like static. Fun fact for you guys out there, Veli. I will give you this, and this is all I will give you.
Say it.
Is Veli invented the melee shoot.
No one believes me, man.
I will tell you guys this from somebody who's been playing this game since day one. Veli invented the melee shoot, because back in Gears of War you just hit B and you held your trigger down. Hit B, you hold the 2-piece, exactly. I will say Veli invented the 2-piece.
I was pretty annoying.
I will give you that.
Hey, you was an alright sniper yourself, Blaze.
I was the best, man. I don't care what you say. You know
who's mental?
Who? Yeah, I was. Yeah, you see how quick I was literally clueless when you said it. when you can add best sniper and anybody's name after that, I'm gonna be clueless as all day. All right, just let us old geezers, you know, have our glory days, you know, embedded in our mind, and always reminisce and talk about them when we can on stream.
Exactly. Fable is up right now. They have double the points of Supremacy. I want to see more from Supremacy, man. Bring that aggression. Bring that slaying mentality. I want to see Zorkos go off. I know what Baghdad is capable of. Baghdad can get loose. He's the man. Yeah. Period. Hands down. And I want to see more from them. Fable is expected from them. So, right now, they're up 5-3 advantage. Let's see what Supremacy is going to do now.
Yeah, that's it. You know, Fable, they had the man advantage, but Supremacy, they still got full control over the Pistons. And it's going to be Zorkos. Question is, he's waiting for the second guy. He's got his intel. He knows he has a 1v2. Felt he's going to see. But he backed up into his teammates, so he knew that help was coming over the top soon. Now you just can't let Phelps get any kills out of this situation. And
come on, man.
That's what cannot happen, especially when you have that man advantage. You put your team down. Sometimes you got to hit somebody with a 2-piece. Even though it doesn't work that well in Gal 4, even throwing out a melee just to put some damage out on the guy.
Not even that. Did they even shoot at him? I mean, pull out a pistol or something. You have to put in shots. Those 2 shots make a big difference. Big difference. If your man comes out and risks his life to help you out, that's the ultimate sacrifice. Like, that's the best teammate in the world play. You have to capitalize on those scenarios.
Nah, you truly do have to capitalize on that. But, hey, Fable, that's going to be, I was going to say that's going to be 8 rounds straight, but it's not. Currently going to be 8-2 in total round count. So, we're going to see. So, Supremacy, hey, they're loving the Hammerburst. This has been their go-to for the duel spots over these last 2 maps. So, they're going to put the Hammerburst down. That's going to have a big effect in this fight.
So, let's see what happens this map, because if you remember map 1, Supremacy put down a lot of support weapons. They put down Hammerburst as well. But we didn't see them take advantage of the Hammerburst. I'm going to see them set up. I'm going to see that team fire. If you're not going to outslay Fable, make them play your game. Set up that perimeter. Knock them down with a pistol or something.
It has to be at least, I know it's one person, one player on the Supremacy team who's like, hey man, you know what, M-bar is my favorite power weapon. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me the M-bar and I'm going to make plays. It's a player like that on every team who requests the power weapon, like, man, give me that torque bow. I'm like the best in the game with the torque bow, and has that confidence. Then give the man the torque bow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, like, let that guy shine in his confidence and give him the stuff that he needs to make plays. And because I feel like you put that power weapon down ASAP, because if not, Fable gonna put down what they want.
You know what it is, man? Some people, they don't know the difference between playing to win and playing to not lose.
That's true.
I mean, if you get, I'm just saying it, if you get spanked 1-7, I'm putting down the big boy guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, by just putting down a Hammerburst, I mean, if your team fire is not like that, if you're not on that level yet, put down a boom shot, torque bow, something.
Yeah. Like on a map like Foundation, you know, that first weapon placement, I let it slide, kind of like big time in a sense because the dual spawns is very annoying.
Yeah.
The dual spawns is very annoying, especially on who you play. So I could actually, on Foundation, I consider that almost like a big power weapon spawn in a sense, you know? That's a key weapon placement compared to like on a map like Lift where you have the dual weapon placements at the bottom half of the map, you know, which is like less important, you know? So, but the dual spawns, the dual weapon spawns on this map may be the most important weapon location on Foundation by far.
You know, I want to see some marks action. I want to see some snap. I want to see a headshots.
You know, hey, the marks off the update, picking up some headshots now.
So wait, so the marks that headshots people on the ground now?
Yeah, it will go back to it. I don't think that update's kicked live yet, but yeah, we'll go back to it. I know they was talking about doing it in the beta, in the competitive beta.
The scary weapons. So Supremacy almost had the domination. Fable came back, won a 1v2 in their hill. They came back, and now, I mean, they're winning. What does, oh, excuse me, Supremacy is winning. What does Fable need to do to take control of this map?
Well, see, the thing is that Fable, they're gonna be a little bit slow with it, but they're gonna need to get this B hill. That's gonna be step number one, getting in and clearing it out. But I think Supremacy is just doing a damn good job at locking down his open. Fable is taking them a while to break this B setup, but that's been one of their weaknesses as a team. You know, if Fable loses B, very few times in which I feel like they can get it back. And you know, some may call me crazy for saying that, but you know, we kind of saw with E United, even granted the boom being on the map, but taking that B can be a weakness for this team. But as you can see, domination coming through for Supremacy, got the kills in which was needed. Question is, this A hill.
Who physics? Finish the kill, man. Okay, there we go. All right, so even though physics is out right there, I really like what he did. He ran away from a bad situation, went to go help out his teammate to, you know, cap the home hill. I like seeing that. So what Supremacy is doing now, they're spraying themselves out and they're using a buddy system. Whenever their teammate needs help, you know, they're putting themselves out there. That's what they didn't do last map. I always thought in Gears of War, it was important that you played a buddy system.
Yo, man.
You played close to a teammate.
You're literally reading my mind because I think the buddy system is so important, and during my brief time, you know, actually running scrims in this game when it first came out, I feel like every map, you know, every map needs a buddy system because every map is locations in which pairs are always playing.
Yes.
I personally believe that the same pair should be playing the same locations on different maps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, for example, you know, through Cave, you know, you got the H and you got the guy in Cave. You got those two who push down. Those two players, whoever they are, should be playing, let's say, should be playing the front spawns on Foundation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or they could be on a lift playing a home hill. Like, those two players should always play together on every single map. So it gets to a point where those two players develop a chemistry with each other.
I like that.
You know, you guys have a chemistry as a team. You guys have that unity, but at the same time, it can't be, you know, two separate groups of chemistry on a team. And it's important, you know, when it comes down to those pairs and those duos.
And it's important where you put those players at. Let people play where they're comfortable at. I mean, if you look at Ghost Gaming, for instance, you know, there's sometimes you see Speedy and Rushies at the same spot. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna let you know now, if I see Speedy and Rushies, I'm running.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm running.
Like, let those players develop that chemistry, like, you know, where it comes down to the point in which they can finish each other's sentences, where they know exactly what their teammate's gonna do, where they know what their duo is gonna do. So I just think it's great. You know, have that consistency across every single map. You know, so that even when you guys aren't online, they can play duos together and just keep bond, you know, creating that bond, so to speak.
Supremacy played that so well. The team fire was set so well to kill them around Fountain, but they pushed in for two separate 1v1s. Chris, last man standing out of that fight. I want to see them really put Fable against the wall right here.
All right, let's see. Baghdad gonna be locking down his B hill. Both home hills are in favor of Fable though. So they got a good 40-point lead, but that's about it. Okay, Marsh. I see you. Gonna shut down Baghdad real quick. Gonna overextend. Gonna put some pressure on Supremacy's home hill. Looking to get through. He's gonna get that next kill.
Confidence.
Gonna get a. Oh, I feel like he wants the third as well.
Don't do it to him.
He's gonna stay aggressive. He knows his teammates got his back.
Okay.
And he wants to be the guy to, you know, set the tone in this fight. Let his teammates play catch up. Play cleanup.
That was pretty reckless, but I've always had a saying that if you have a great player on your team, you let them do what they do best. Even though sometimes plays like that look crazy, you never know. The next time he might pop off and get that three-piece.
That's true. Let them do it. You know, you gotta let these guys kind of play to their strength, play to your strength.
Exactly. Zoro goes in the 1v1. He loses against Chris. Oh, excuse me, Marsh.
Yeah, Marsh is gonna make him fall. But yeah, Val, you gotta let these guys play to their strengths. You gotta figure out what your team is, what your team's identity is gonna be, and that comes down to, you know, what's the squad's favorite power weapons, what's the favorite secondary weapons. Yeah. These guys in spots, and just start basing your strategy and your rotations kind of around that, you know. Because if you got a bomb marksman player on your team, utilize him, you know. Because every time he picks up that weapon, he's gonna have that confidence about him, that confidence that you're gonna need, especially if you want to get first place at one of these events.
Jesus, 5
That's
down.
a wipe. That's gonna be a wipe.
And I was just going to, you know, tell the viewers how well Supremacy is playing right now. They spread out around the map. They had lanes.
But somehow they managed to all fall within 5 seconds of each other.
I mean, it happens if you go against Craze.
It will. But even off of that wipe, this could be bad for Fable, especially if Fable don't get the proper like engagement with them off these guys coming off the spawn. Because it looks like Supremacy will get this home hill. You got a bunch of Fable members falling left and right as well. But this chaos has brought Fable enough time to get the lead in which they need, and now you don't have Supremacy getting any points at all. And Fable looking to close this one out, and nobody on Supremacy is going to be able to get to the other side of the map. That's going to be a wipe. Fable takes round number 3.
Man, at this point, put the controller down. It's over. When these guys have 2 hills and 200 points, you just kind of got to let it happen. You got to talk about the next round at this point. Speaking of that, if you're an in-game leader and you're on Supremacy, you're telling your teammates, okay, listen, we have bright spots. We're doing better this time around compared to map 1.
Yep.
We have to continue our team fight. We have to continue playing for each other. It's easier. It sounds easy.
Yeah.
But it's actually doing it. It's playing unselfish, playing for your teammates, lancering, because, you know, if your teammate is in a 1v1, you put that lancer out. Don't try to run in with a shotgun. Don't push unnecessary 1v1s. Put yourself in positions where you can help out your team and advance on the map to get map control.
Exactly. And also what you got to realize too as well, as a player, you got to realize when you're the guy that's supposed to be in that position. You know, when you're running out of spawn and you see that you're the 3rd guy in line, you need to know that, hey, you know what? I got to have my lance out in this fight. I got to support these guys. I can't be the 3rd guy into the fight with a shotgun, you know?
No.
Especially depending on the position. That spawn position alone, you just need to know what your role is going to be in the next upcoming team fight without being told.
Second, right there, because of the Lancer fire, Hydron was able to pick up that last kill. Every member on Supremacy is now dead.
I'm curious to see if, one is the home hill didn't get capped. I don't think this is going to equate to that domination.
No.
Yeah, just too many people died out there opening break. They was hoping the respawn players were going to be able to cap that home hill, which they did, but not in a timely enough fashion. But Hydron has enough pressure on Supremacy to force this domination. Supremacy has 3 members on their home hill, 1 guy down. The cleanup crew is coming mid-map. Prim and March, the new duo.
Fired.
And that's what you want to see. That's going to be another wipe by Fable. And you see Phelpsy all the way over there by welding, putting those shots in. Just a beautiful spot for him. And Supremacy knew there was nothing in which they could do that round. But I'm curious to see their weapon placement. A lot of teams like fighting for the big power weapons enclosed now. That weapon spot, the reason why is because it's more areas in which you can approach that power weapon, and there's more in the open as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't want to see Supremacy drop a nade.
Don't
do it. Drop something big, man.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even think Supremacy is prepared to fight that fight. Maybe this is the best placement. I mean, you know, I don't think it's a fight in which they practice. But I noticed what Fable wanted to do when they put the nades at Pistons. You know, they wanted to fight for something at Pistons, but they didn't want to go for that big power weapon. You know, they were just basically saying, hey, Supremacy, we're gonna force your hand. We're gonna kind of bait you into making this weapon placement up under. If you guys do want to put something big down, you guys gonna have to fight for it in the open area of the map. So
this is my beef with that drop right there. Okay, Supremacy, even when they're up in numbers, is Fable still finds a way to come back, take map control, and win the game. Alright, Supremacy, they're not taking advantage of numbers. That was really nice, by the way.
That was, but he's going to kill himself in his own instant.
Right, so when you're playing the same type of game every round, there's not really a major power weapon out there, it's time to try something new. Because what you think is right ain't right.
And, you know, that was almost like, that was the old EU logic of last season, with the most deadliest weapon being put on the map was nade. Second most was the sniper. You know, and that was just all they played for was nades and snipers and incense the entire time. and just kind of had everything else blocked off.
Right, and then like, you know, after the smoke settles and you throw those 2 nades or whatever, it's the same thing as the last round. The weapon that you put down that you probably got 1 kill with isn't gonna make that big of a difference. You have to put something down that makes that huge difference, okay?
And see, also the big thing is that people got to understand too, when it comes down to placing power weapons, it's not so much the lethality of the weapon that makes it so important. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome in closing out dominations, but it's putting a weapon down that has the most weight. That's gonna bring the majority of your opponents into that area. So with the boom shot, you know that you're gonna get at least 4 members of Fable locked in this area. So as the respawn timers get higher, you clean up those 4 kills and you lose maybe like 1 member in that team fight. That equates into a domination. Because you know you got tabs on everybody. You know, very few spots in which you know people are gonna go. So now with having tabs on everybody, when you get a bunch of these kills, like they got 2, now they should have the distance. They should not lose nobody. You know where everybody is in this fight. You know where the last member. Now at this point, the other members should already be pushing. Push out. Don't be looking. You gotta have faith in your teammates that you know they're gonna clean that up.
You said put down the weapon that got some weight. Blaze, that boom shot got some weight, boy. And they don't even need to shoot in order to win the domination.
And so, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. You bring 4 members into the location of the boom shot. You have tabs on them.
Yeah.
You get 2 quick kills. You should get another 2 guaranteed kills because you know that they're in that location fighting for the boom shot. If you win that team fight, it should be an easy domination, especially in these later rounds. So, and you know what a lot of the top teams do, they play that fight a little bit earlier rather than later because they want to make sure that they got that locked in towards the later rounds.
Yeah, it was a great heads-up play by Supremecy because when they were fighting for the boom shot, I saw one player in the middle, right on top of the boom shot. He jumped back from a 1v1 to help his teammate out.
Yep. Which
the little
things.
Type of teammate.
The little things like that, you know. You know, you gotta keep the majority alive. You cannot play for yourself. You gotta have full awareness on what's going on at all times. And so now, folks, it is going to be second half. So these respawn timers will drop back down to 10 seconds, and we will have a new set of heals. We're going to be having that DEF heal. So that F heal, that neutral heal, is going to be a statue now. So what we start to see with a lot of these teams, they start to just play for both home heals. The D heal and the F heal, which is on your screens on both sides. They feel like playing for these 2 heals is a better situation than going all the way across the map towards that E heal.
Right now we have a count of 5-3, 5-4. Fable, they need to keep it together and also just close out because momentum is a hell of a thing in Gears of War. Supremecy, take it slow, don't push any 1v1 setup. You guys did well with teamwork. You guys did well with team fire. I want to see more of that because the one thing you cannot do is run up on Fable, you know, in their house, try to win this map. So I want to see more team fire, more lancers, more pistols, and you know, try to get jiggy a little bit after that.
I agree with you. Supremecy, you know, if anything that they take away from this matchup is that, you know, don't be running away from certain fights, you know?
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. That boom shot in the later round was probably what they wanted to do the entire time, but Fable, they blocked it with those nades because they say, hey, you gotta put the boom shot, you gotta put it in close. It's as simple as that. So Supremecy, if they lose this round early on, they need to put that boom shot back on pistons early on. Force Fable into that fight.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you'll still come out with a 2 cap on both home hills. You win it.
And as you notice, as rounds go by, Supremecy, you know, they're calling to make sure that these rounds last longer. Fable with 2 quick kills right now. 3v2. This is a huge fight.
This is a huge fight. Baghdad, he's going to get pinched, and he's going to be 4th member fallen for Supremecy, but they did have 3 off of respawn. And they do have the numbers. E will not be in their control, but somebody is in the area fighting for it, so don't count it out just yet. And they're going to flood the home hill, force back these Fable members, and they're going to be running with their tail between their legs back home. And but I don't think they're going to be able to get away from these poachers, strikers. Look at this, go in here and strike for this kill.
Can Hydron do it?
Oh, there you go. He had some help over the top, but that was getting a little scary. And
no!
He's able to get the kill. The team fire. Hydron makes it up. Oh. What if Hydron got up out of that situation and managed to just blind fire over cover and pick up a kill? That would have been crazy.
He tried to kick the player and he kicked the corner. Can't let that happen.
Yeah, that's just, you know, just the little things.
Yes.
But this domination is coming out in favor of Fable. Supremecy is trying to get to this home hill. They're pressing, but it's just that you see this wall of lancers, the shots coming out.
This is textbook gameplay. Fable's doing nothing special, by the way.
Yeah.
Fable, they set up, they fight 1v1s that they're confident in winning. They're making Supremacy play their game. As if you notice, Fable slowed the map down a little bit. And whenever a player died on Supremacy, it was ever one player at a time. It's 2 at a time.
Yeah, it was multiple players.
Like, it was always a 5v3 or a 4v3, 4v2.
No, go back to Pistons. Come on. Now,
and do it?
Yeah,
Come on, big fella.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. You guys got it.
Crisp.
There you go.
Drop it.
He's going to drop it. So, yeah, you guys got the picture now. All right. Let's fight for it early. You know, they had some success with that boom shot the round before. They like the fight. They like what happened in that situation, so they're going to make sure they put it down. And like I said, I think that was their strategy in the first half anyway, was to get the boom shot down. Just Fable blocked it, you know? So they're going to make sure that they're going to use their first weapon spawn for it this time around.
5-2, you're not going to be too bad. It's a new round. You got to make the most of your situation. And you have numbers right now at this boom shot. So the question is, are you going to capitalize on it?
About to find out. The press coming in from Fable, the misroll as well, but Crash managed to pick up 2 and Striker's fall, but Crash gets 4, 5. Was that 5?
That was 5.
Man literally picked up a 5-piece on top of the boom shit.
He's a beast.
Good job, Craze. I always call him Crash. Good job, Craze. And he's gonna get 2 more. Looking for oh my fault, that was Hydro.
Right now.
Craze and Hydro, cleaning up kills left and right.
I say they just go for the net, go all out. All 5 players a boom shot, end it fast.
Yep.
End it fast.
I think we're going to get some hammer bursts down for this fight as well. That's going to be the next weapon placement by Supremacy. It's either going to be that or maybe Incense at under mid, one of the 2.
So Blaze, how do you see throughout the, whole entirety of Gears 4 how the level of competition has risen? Fable really wasn't on the map to be this good in Season 1, and now you see more teams stepping up, such as Era Eternity. Rise is in the picture. Fable shocked the world.
They did. So, but I'm going to be straight up honest with you.
Talk to me.
Outside of United, Ghost, Optic, Echo, and Fable,
okay,
I feel like everything else is a toss-up on who's going to perform when the event comes, you know?
That's fair.
Like I think Motivate on paper looks good, you know? You got Era Eternity. They looking for, a 5th now. Wildy, hung up the sticks finally.
So he's done.
That's what the sweeps say. Wildy has hung up the sticks officially.
People don't really just quit Gears. Like, they always come back. They always come back.
This probably is Wildy's, 4th time quitting Gears. I'm not even going to lie. But, it's always different titles. They always come back when we get another title. Always come back when they see the next Gold Circuit. So we'll see what happens.
He's going to watch Vegas and be like, damn, I want to do that.
So
I can't miss Mexico again.
We'll see what happens in the future. But, we always wish them the best of luck.
Yes.
But outside of those top 5 teams, I feel like it's a toss-up really for anybody.
But you know what you didn't say?
What?
Outside of the top 5 teams, there's a power struggle now in the top 3. Well, I mean, Optic's still number 1, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But they looked human in Mexico.
True.
Ghost Gaming got 2nd. Echo Fox had the worst event ever. It got top 6.
I think it's been but see, my thing is, at the end of the day, I think it's been a while since we've seen Optic at 100%. And, their competitors may not like me saying that.
They were 100% against Ghost.
Against who?
I think they were 100% in Ghost. You know why? We saw Kenny go off. And the fact that another Optic player had to step up and play like that, they went 100.
Maybe that's because their star players was getting a little complacent.
I think they're, all right, I love the Optic voice. I think they get a little cocky.
Yeah.
I think they get a little cocky.
Why
we're not trying.
Right?
Because Kenny and Icy, they talk trash, man. So I think that they tried pretty damn hard, especially when they went against Fable. Congrats to Fable. They won the second map 7-2. What's that, 14-3 map count?
It was 14-4. 14-4 map count. So, yeah, once again, congrats to Fable doing what we expect from you guys.